Hello, is it me you're looking for? My name's Luke Stone, and this is the Comics Project. I want to come at you today with another quick episode of the show. This time I want to talk about pacing. You might remember the episode about scripting. Well, this kind of goes hand in hand with scripting. Pacing is really the speed at which you tell your story or the rhythm at which things begin to come out to the reader. And so this is really important, especially when it comes to scripting. And you might remember, as we talked about, the arc of your scripts, the starting with however many issues you're going to do and then arcing out the story over that many issues. So pacing is really important, especially when kind of planning out where you're going to be going with the story. Now, I know we've all created an elevator pitch for our books, the little like tweets that we can say, this is what our book is about, this is why you should like it, this is why you should care. And so we've all done that. But unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is we do that inside of our pages. We've been elevator pitching it for so long that by the time we start to write and draw, we're basically just creating our elevator pitch. And unfortunately, the elevator pitch is supposed to be there to get the reader interested. And if that's all our book is, there's not really any content for them to get interested for. And so I always try to encourage creators to take some time with their pacing. Figure out what it is that you want to say. So we've already looked at, we've picked our audience. We know what the purpose is. We're starting to look at scripting, and we know that we're going to do X amount of books. For me, it's 5. So we'll use that example. We're going to use 5 books. And in each book, is going to cover an overarching story, kind of the main point, and then I might have a second main point that I want to do or another adventure thing that I want to have in there, and then some smaller aspects of the story that I want to tell. I'll even break that down, so I'll have the big arc of what I want to happen, so the world story, and then I'll break it down to where I have maybe my team story and maybe my villain story, and then I'll break it down even further to where I have kind of individual relationships and things that are going on inside there. And I'm like, I want this to happen over the course of this 5 books. Now, each book is 20 pages, so there I've got 100 pages to tell the story of what I need to say. Now, some things are going to be really boring and not so interesting, and so I need to find a way to tell that in an interesting way. And maybe I can't, so I just need to speed up a little bit, drop the information that's easy to drop in there somehow. And then the things that are a little more interesting, I need to spend some time developing those. For me, character development is always important. I think one of the biggest problems with the superhero genre of comic book is the fact that there's not a lot of character development. A lot of people these days are wanting comics that are about something. They're about people. They're about relationships. And I see no reason why that can't be in with your superheroes at all. In fact, one of my things is that I'm trying to do is focus on building that inside of a world of superheroes. We see that happening with all of the major studios releasing movies that are developing characters through like 10 years of movie making. So we want to try to focus on developing our characters inside of our arcs. And so as we do that, pacing is important. Figure out what it is that you want to put into each issue. So as you're looking at this, for me, 5 issues, I take this bits of story and I say, well, I need to tell this and I need to tell this and I want to tell these things. And so I begin to lay them out over the different issues, placing them where I want them, and then I start writing around those. I know there's certain situations that I want to happen. I've already thought it out. Like I know that I want this to happen between this character and this character, but where and how can that work out without it being awkward or out of place? How can I spend the time doing that without making it feel rushed or maybe spending way too much time on that? And so that's what the pacing is. It's taking it at the right rhythm so that you can tell the story. So as you are working on your scripts now, as you're working through your concepts, start considering how you're going to tell your story over time and begin to pace it and put it out at a speed that is interesting for the reader. It's interesting for you, fun for you, but that really spends time on the things that need to be spent time on and maybe not so much on the things that don't. That way your book doesn't come across as just an elevator pitch. You've got 2 or 3 pages where it completely explains the entire arc of the entire book. And so there's no reason to read it or to look at it from that point. There's no point to even open the book because I know exactly what's going to happen. I've broadcasted everything. Find a way to pace it out a little more slowly and to work in those really cool elements. That way people begin to care about your protagonist They care about your antagonist or hate your antagonist. They care about what's going on in the world, and they care about what's going on in the relationships inside of the context of the story. So that is what I have for you today. So keep in mind pacing. If you have any other questions or comments, if you just want to talk or chat about that a little bit, make sure you put it down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when new episodes show up, when I have new videos. We're really looking forward to potentially going live. There is also the possibility of having some kind of a giveaway once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So we are on our way. We're pretty far from that right now. But make sure to share the videos. Make sure to invite your friends along to like it. If you found some value or anything good in it, please let us know, all right? And anything you would like to hear us talk about, make sure you put it down in the comments, and we'll do our best to get those videos out for you. Have a great day. God bless, and be good to each other.